Please remember, the views and opinions expressed by this show or any other show on DV Radio and its guests are strictly those of said individuals and do not reflect those of the DV Radio staff nor the staff of Dysfunctional Veterans.
I'm Nevermore, and I'm not normally this pleasant sounding.
I'm Frosty, and I'm just a frozen asshole.
And that's right, you got DV Oink who loves to play and shit. I mean, no, wait a minute, hold on.
And they really didn't name y'all asshole 1 and 2?
That's what the boss calls us.
2 people remember me and one's vote's mom.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
You were a little bit soggy.
Boiled bacon.
That's right.
And I'd like to introduce DV Midnight Backdoor for all your backdoor needs.
And you know what that means.
We will talk really slow for you.
I don't know, some of those nights at work.
I'd say that's a different little bird.
Welcome to Frag Out, Drag Out.
And welcome to Frag Out, Drag Out. Today, well, I guess I should start off by saying I'm Nevermore. We're so excited, we're not going to do intro, screw it. With me, we have Frosty, Oink, Uncle Fester, and a very special guest, Rick from Battle Dawgs, all the way up in Alaska. Say hello, Rick.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on this morning.
It's morning for them. It's afternoon, evening for us. But Oinky, how you doing?
I am hanging in there and doing swell.
What you talking about?
Frosty, swell, is that a word still?
Sure.
It's kind of like Urban Dictionary, I think. I don't know.
Doing good up here. Enjoying our little micro heat wave.
Having a heat wave. When they say heat wave, it's what, 20 degrees?
25. Trying to snow.
Well, you'll melt. Uncle Fester, how you doing?
Doing well, thank you.
All right. So we're just going to jump into it because it looks like this group does a lot of things. So we're just going to get in there and start asking questions. So, Rick, tell us a little bit about the group you run. Organization, 501c, I should say.
Sure. Again, the name of the organization is Battle Dawgs, and of course, Dogs is spelled D-A-W-G-S. Been doing this, working with combat vets for about 6 years now, and started off volunteering for another organization about 7 years ago. I just felt there was something lacking. Great organization, but I thought there was more to it, and so wanted to add more and thought we could bring more to our veterans and offer more options for them. So we started Battle Dawgs, and basically, in a nutshell, what we're doing is we're providing outdoor therapeutic retreats for combat veterans. And our focus is combat vets. And the areas we do really key in on is PTS and TBIs, traumatic brain injuries, and of course the high suicide rate in our veteran community. And what we do is we offer 7 to 10 day, and there's no expense to our warriors, so everything is free of charge. The only thing they need to do is get their butts on an airplane or be at the doorstep when I show up to pick them up. And then they're able to participate in one of our 7 to 10 day camps. And we offer, I teach them how to fly fish. We do flight seeing tours, 4-wheeler tours. We shoot lots of guns on the property, and we're just trying to restore that brotherhood that a lot of these guys and gals miss, and try to restore that mission and that sense of purpose.
It looks like you guys work with sled dogs too.
Yep, hence the name Battle Dawgs. And how this kind of started was obviously racing the Iditarod. It's a 1,000-mile dog sled race up here in the state of Alaska. It's kind of the Super Bowl of dog mushing. And that's how this started off even before we were a nonprofit. So normally dog mushers will race under their own name. I changed that and just strictly went to Battle Dawgs Racing, just trying to raise awareness for veterans. And so just was thinking about what would be kind of a cool name, and that's how the name came up. Once we started that and started making the connections with the veterans, we kind of quickly realized that, hey, I think we have something here. And I used to have a tourism business up here in Alaska where we would put people on a helicopter. We would fly them up to a glacier. I literally lived on a glacier during the summertime with my dogs, and we would do dog sled tours up on a glacier. And so this started by me donating trips to veterans to come on up and experience the glacier, experience the dogs. And then once we started doing that, realized the connection I was able to make with these guys, we said, wow, we really need to step this up, take this to the next level. We started our 501c3, and it's been growing and booming ever since.
Well, our very first show that we actually recorded we were talking to Oink and Frosty about Alaska's kind of out there and what do they have for veterans. And they do have centers and stuff, but I've not heard up until that commercial anything like this up there. So that's amazing. I live with an Alaskan Malamute. Luckily, he doesn't know anything about sled dogging, but still, I don't know how you do it. I couldn't live with a whole team of them boogers.
Well, I only have about 60 dogs at the moment, so not too bad.
Oh, when they sing the song of their people, you ain't getting no sleep at all.
I don't even hear it anymore. I'm so used to it.
Oh, no. 60 dogs, no. But that's like normal for sled dog teams, though.
Yeah, that's considered a small to mid-size kennel.
Okay. Oink, Frosty, you two have been chomping at the bit now. Help me out here.
Wake up, Frosty.
Snowball froze.
Trying to think of something here that you hadn't really covered, but it sounds like you're giving them the full Alaska experience when they get up here, and then some.
and that's it. There's a lot of great organizations across the United States, and I kind of jokingly tell people, if I can't sell Alaska, I'm in the wrong business, because this is a bucket list type of a place for people come to vacation, take cruises, things like that, hunt, fish. I just, bringing these guys up here, I just didn't want to, and our property where we have Camp Battle Dawgs is an amazing place. We sit on 650 acres. We got a view
did we
have, out our back window. I look at Denali every single day, and, and we could just bring warriors up here and for a week and literally just stay on the property, and that would be an awesome camp. But I really wanted to show these guys and give them a true Alaskan experience. For a regular person to come and take my camp and to do what we do with our warriors, it probably cost you about $15,000 just to do what we do with our warriors. And so we really give them the real deal. We fly out to remote lodges. We fish some of the best water in the state of Alaska. I mean, we literally land up on glaciers and take walks on glaciers and see some of the most amazing places on Earth. And that's really what I wanted to do is, once these guys leave here, just give them something they've never seen before. So it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome.
If folks wanted to help you guys out, how would they go about giving you donations?
All right, right through our website, battledawgs.org. There's a link on there where you could donate to, and that's the thing. It's hard. I mean, we bust our butts trying to raise money. We do silent auction benefits. Last year we started a golf tournament, and so it's tough. And we can only do a certain amount of warriors a year. Right now we're averaging about 24 to 26 warriors a year, which is good. I mean, that's a great number. But when I set out to do this, my goal is 50 to 100 warriors a year. That's really where I would like to be at. We're now year round, and this year in a couple of weeks I got a group coming. We're actually going to be doing dog mushing boot camps where guys will come up here and they're going to learn how to run sled dogs. And the mission of that week while they're here is they're actually going to take out a group of dogs by themselves, unassisted, and do a solo trip by themselves.
Oh, that sounds pretty impressive. Sounds like a lot of fun too.
Yeah. And it's, I mentioned we do all this fishing. We go out and see all these amazing places. But I mean, the truth is, a lot of guys and girls, once they leave here, they say, if we never even left here, this still was the most amazing experience of my life. And we get that a lot. The big thing with Battle Dawgs, once you come through one of our camps, we're not a one and done organization. And what I mean by that is I've had guys come through here 3 or 4 times because they needed it. We're not that organization that's looking to get that photo opportunity to post all over Facebook and Instagram to make ourselves feel great about ourselves. We truly want to bring these guys fully back. And that's kind of our motto, helping our warriors one step at a time, because I believe it's a stepping process for these veterans that come back. And it's not just, I don't expect to come through my camp and then boom, it's a silver bullet, you're cured, you're good to go, and get on with it. So some guys need a couple of camps. And once you come through our camp, you'll become a mentor. So next year I may call that certain warrior and say, hey, I got a slot in July. I need a mentor for that camp. Would you be interested? So we're constantly trying to give guys something to look forward to keep pushing on. So now they can come back, help out that warrior that may be struggling when they first show up, that may be having a lot of anxiety and is a little nervous about being here around people that he's never met before. So again, that mentorship has been really key to our program.
Now, I'm going to say, going to some of the places, I've never been to Alaska. Those two yo-yos live there and my other half grew up there, but I know that it can be dangerous. So this takes one hell of a team just to be able to keep up with. And most veterans know how to take care of themselves in the wilderness, but I'm a big baby. I'd be cold all the time and whiny.
No, I mean, I've been here so long that I guess I don't. I mean, you got to definitely have your head on a swivel depending on what you're doing. If you're fishing in rivers out in the middle of nowhere, obviously you got to have situational awareness with the bear threat, things like that. But for the most part, there's really nothing to worry about. There really isn't. Just be smart.
I'd be the person that falls through the ice or something stupid like that. That would be me. The bears and moose, we would be okay. We've had our lessons on that. They send me pictures all the time when they're at work, and they're like, random bear just walking the flight line, and I'm like, God, how do y'all stand that? And they just get used to it. But where are you guys based out of?
So we're about 2.5 hours north of Anchorage in a town called Talkeetna.
I got to crack up at that because that meathead's name that I mentioned is Denali. Let me see if I can pronounce his middle name because I can never pronounce his freaking middle name. Via Talkeetna, and we just call him Skeeter. So when they said Talkeetna, I was like, that's kind of a weird coincidence. Like I said, my partner grew up in Alaska, so he knows all those places. And when I told him about this group, he's like, oh, you should see the country. And I was like, I'll take your word for it. It's too damn cold up there.
No, the summers are awesome up here. I mean, there's no other place I'd rather be. It is warming up now. We've had our share of cold weather here in the last few weeks, no doubt about it. So I'm glad to see 25. It feels like it's 60 out right now with these temps.
Oh, I know. Those bozos are probably in shorts.
Yeah.
If they would allow us to wear shorts on the flight line, I would be wearing shorts on the flight line. Trust me.
Now, I know these two chuckleheads are probably going to make arrangements, so you're going to have two weird random vets show up at your doorstep one day and be like, we're going to take a tour and take some pictures and all that, because our goal, we do represent DV Radio, Frag Out, Drag Out, our own little thing, but I would love to see getting y'all some sponsors or some donations or something like that, because any place, doesn't matter if it's Alaska, and I know people are like, well, that's kind of remote. Yeah, but I mean, we've discussed, they know the situation up there, and unless there's something like this, there's not a whole lot to do. You can hang out at the center, but it's a place to put vets together and them not feel so isolated in a country that you have to fly across, you can't drive,
Right. And that's the big thing is once you get these guys together, our approach is a lot different than other organizations and philosophies. Is once our camps start, we don't set a time like, hey guys, at 1300 we're gonna meet around the campfire and we're gonna sit around and talk. They'll never ever hear those words come out of my mouth. If they want to talk, great. If not, so be it. Just enjoy it. It's about bringing these guys back together again and getting them to talk about it. And that's really what they're doing, is they're healing themselves without them even knowing it. So we'll never force anything upon them. The most evasive question I will ask them is, hey, what part of Iraq were you in? What part of Afghanistan were you in? Other than that, that's it. I've had some guys, most of them will open up during the week and talk to me about certain things. But, I've had warriors, it has taken them 3 years to open up and say, hey, this is actually what's been bothering me. And I feel comfortable finally talking about it with you. And that's fine. Obviously I would, the goal is to get them to get it off their chest and start talking about it, but sometimes it just takes a little bit more time. and everyone's different.
Well, I'm hoping it works like it does anywhere else, and you put a group together and eventually they become battle buddies. And so if they do get into a spot, they remember, oh, I met so-and-so in Alaska. Let me see. Maybe if I give them a call, they'll understand and they can help me, instead of sitting there alone.
Exactly.
I mean, we all know everybody argues about the number of suicides, but that's our greatest enemy. I don't, isolation and that kind of stuff, that's what causes those numbers and stuff. And I know that, especially with what you're doing, it's unique. And I know there's going to be haters out there. Well, he's talking combat. Yes, I understand that there's PTSD from other things, and we get that. But there are certain things that, and I used to be basically a suicide crisis team, and it is hard to get somebody who is in their head, stuck in the middle of a war, to talk. I mean, and I'm not trying to get people too far down in their fields, but JJ's got a buddy that we called. He had to call him and talk him down because he was stuck in another time zone, like with a gun in his hand and police officers, and had to get him to the ground and get him safe. So, it's hard to make that connection sometimes. Every vet's going to relate to another vet with something similar in their service. So before the haters come running out of the rocks and the bro vets and the super vets that we talk about, calm your panties down and just support the group, or just shut up. And that's why we're called Frag Out, Drag Out. We just say whatever.
One of the things that you mentioned that I really kind of liked and was your mentor program, bringing them back up to kind of help out. That was, it seems like it's a good way to get them, maybe that one vet that didn't really open up or was just starting to, give them another opportunity, or if nothing else, let them kind of pay it forward. What helped them out might help somebody else that's along that same journey.
Exactly. And as funny as it sounds, we've been criticized for doing that, and which is really bizarre to me. The last 2 years we'll do a work camp before the season kind of kicks off. And, 2 years ago, I brought 12 of our warriors that have been through our camps back up. We sent out an email and said, hey, would you be interested in coming back? We're building some cabins. We're doing infrastructure. Literally the next day, they all said, are you kidding me? Is this I was, no. And then boom, they all came back up. And, like you said, it was them paying it forward for their brothers and sisters, because they know what they got out of that camp. So every year we've done that. We'll do a mini work party and come up for, and that one work camp lasted 2 weeks. These guys literally lived here and worked and busted their asses for 2 weeks straight, building cabins and, cleaning up around the property, helping out on trails, cutting trees down. So it's just awesome to bring these guys back. And the mentorship has been a really integral part of this group, because sometimes these guys, they just need something to look forward to. And, this could be it, because a lot of these guys do isolate themselves. And so this helps them get them out of that shell.
Yeah, I really like that thought and that thought process. And I don't know, it's something that kind of resonates with me, of getting these guys out there, and yeah, they got the help. Now let's give it some more, or help that next brother out.
Exactly. And looking, as we wrote this program, and I literally wrote this program 7-8 years ago, Battle Dawgs, and kind of the concept, and said, hey, one day I really would like to do this at a certain point. And this is part of it, looking at other organizations and what they do. And, and you talked about, we focus on combat veterans, and, that's that's what we decided to do. And there's there's 50 to 60,000 organizations across the United States. And I don't mean any disrespect when I say this. We're not a thank you for your service organization. My hats off to people who have ever signed their name on the dotted line. We just focus on combat vets, guys that have been outside the wire, meaning, and then PTS and TBIs, because most traumatic brain injuries are the guys coming from combat veterans and guys who have been outside the wire. Because TBIs are, people do not realize, well, you got both your arms, both your legs, what's wrong with you? They don't understand what that traumatic brain injury is doing to these warriors. That's what we chose to work on and focus on.
Yeah, and I see no problem. In fact, I kind of like the idea of focusing on like one specific group, because that gives you the ability to kind of focus on what that particular group of people needs versus having to try and generalize and cover every little thing that could be out there that could be bothering them or causing issues.
Sure, exactly.
Some of the other
exactly.
are, yeah, it's great. They can kind of triage or handle some of the little bit of everything, but by focusing, you can really get down to the nitty gritty of what these guys need.
Exactly. And I mean, we have healthcare professionals on board. You know, one of my board members is a doctor. We have actually 2 doctors on board with us and a psychiatrist. So we're able to cross over into that, because the ultimate goal at Battle Dawgs is we're going to provide treatment for warriors while they're here. And we're slowly getting into that and building it up. But of course, you know, it takes a lot of money to pull this off, what we're trying to do. You know, my ultimate goal, if I could wave a magic wand, is I want to be that one-stop shop for when that warrior comes through these doors. I can answer any question that they may have and be able to provide any type of treatment that they need. But, you know, that's a lofty goal, but we are getting there.
Oh, I think it falls right in line with what DV Radio as a whole tries to do as well, kind of a one-stop shop for, for one, obviously entertainment, but also for information. Like I said, getting your name out there, other names out there like Objective Zero, great app. I don't know if you ever looked into their app for suicide prevention and whatnot. But, you know, that's the main thing that we're trying to do as well, is kind of be a one-stop shop where if somebody were to come to us and say, hey, do you know of any programs for our combat veterans? Boom, we know you guys now. You know, we know more about you, and they can, with all confidence, refer them to you folks, you know, to get them on that healing path. But you mentioned, obviously, the combat veterans. Now, is this limited? Obviously, we're talking Alaska, and myself and Frosty are up here in Alaska. But obviously, this is actually open to all the veterans in all the lower 48, correct?
That's correct. And we have warriors coming from all over the United States and Alaska. So all branches of service. I've had, you know, got from tier 1 operators to 11 Bravos to Rangers to SEALs. They've all been through here. Last 2 years, 2 years ago, we had a Vietnam veteran come through for the first time, and he's been back up 2 times now since that first camp. Why? Because he needed it, and he was up here last June, and that's really when he had his breakthrough moment up here. We were talking about a guy who hasn't talked about what he dealt with in Vietnam in 47 years. This is the first time he's ever talked about it, and he talked about it with us and the group of warriors that were here. So it's just absolutely one of the most powerful camps that I've been a part of is having that gentleman through here. And so it's just awesome. So it's open to all veterans, combat vets.
Now, I know that if people have questions, this will probably be one that brings up a lot of our combat vets. Not a lot. Some of our combat vets do have disabilities, you know, lost a leg, lost an arm, or stuff like that. Are y'all equipped to take those type of veterans and help them through this process as well?
Yes. We've had amputees come up. Last summer I had an amputee come up. I've had an amputee, one of our guys from Tennessee. We tend to give nicknames to all the warriors that come up. Big Country, he's been up here a couple of times. So yeah, we don't say no to anyone that you know, if you can get on an airplane or be at the doorstep, if you can get here, we will provide a camp for you. And I think that's why guys love us so much, is because we're not so structured. I mean, I literally will change something completely the day of just to make sure that warrior can get here or facilitate that type of a camp for him. This spring, all of the cabins outside will be wheelchair accessible, that type of stuff. So we're able to take anybody that applies for a camp to come through.
Well, I wanted to ask that question before it left my mind, because we do have our one-legged fireman here, you know. So, I mean, yeah, we make jokes and stuff, but it may be a question if somebody hears this, be like, I can't do it because, you know, there's so-and-so wrong with me. And Alaska is pretty rough, but, you know, nobody's going to leave their brother down. So if it's something you can't do, I'm pretty sure these guys will help you get through it. You
Absolutely.
sound like absolute fabulous for the outdoor thing. Now, we've only got about 5 minutes until our first break, so I'm going to go ahead and let Oink do his sponsor thing. And then when we come back, I want to break down each of the things you kind of do and talk a little bit about it.
Sure.
Oink.
Alrighty, folks. Well, hey, thanks to K-Bar Soap Company is, of course, one of our great sponsors. K-Bar Soap Company is the only all-natural soap company and beard care option you'll ever need. Veteran-owned and operated. Ditch the bar, grab a grenade. That's right. The soap is in the shape of a grenade, folks. You can't go wrong there. Also, our second sponsor, who is very, very funny. If you get a chance to head over there, head over to NFG Vets. It's a website owned and maintained by veterans for veterans for simply comic relief and, hey, where we can just be veterans and hang out and be one another. So head over to NFG Vets on their Facebook page and give them a like and, share the memes.
Where we can beat each other, dude? Really?
Yes, we can. We can beat each other. We can, support each other. Yeah, whatever comes first.
You said beat each other, so for the rest of the show, I'm Oink and you're Frosty.
That'll work.
We'll confuse our guests, but on a serious note, guys, we're going to take our quick little break. That don't mean we go anywhere. That just means we stop the recording. So before you go, I'm out. No. So we're going to take our break. You're listening to Frag Out, Drag Out on DV Radio, WDVR.
DV Radio.
Shortly after 9/11, Homes for Heroes was established as a way to say thank you to our nation's heroes. By working with a Homes for Heroes affiliate, firefighters, law enforcement, healthcare workers, EMS, military, and teachers save significant money when buying, selling, or refinancing their home. Buy a home and receive a check in the mail from Homes for Heroes. Sell a home and receive reduced real estate service fees at closing. Refinance your home and receive reduced lending fees. Every time a hero uses Homes for Heroes, they also help others. A portion from each transaction is donated to the Homes for Heroes Foundation that provides assistance to those heroes in need. Although the program is available throughout the nation, it is not available in all areas. For more information, head to buyyourhomewithliz.com/heroes. You can also call Liz at 508-658-0153. Again, go to buyyourhomewithliz.com/heroes for more information. More information, head to buyyourhomewithliz.com/heroes. You can also call Liz at 508-658-0153. Go to buyyourhomewithliz.com/heroes for more information.
DV Radio.
Shooters Express is Charlotte's #1 destination for all personal defense, sport, instruction, and recreational shooting supplies. They offer concealed carry classes for only $29.95. That's only $29.95 for concealed carry classes. And if you're military or law enforcement, you'll receive great deals and be eligible for even more at Shooters Express. So head over to Shooters Express in Belmont, North Carolina, or visit shootersexpress.com for more information and monthly deals. That's Shooters Express in Belmont, North Carolina.
This is not a paid endorsement from Shooters Express and is provided solely by DV Radio free of charge.
We're back on the air.
DV Radio.
And welcome back to Frag Out, Drag Out. You still have me, Nevermore, Oink, Frosty, Uncle Fester, and our special guest from Battle Dawgs, Rick. One thing that we did not mention before the break, we did mention donations, but Rick, can you tell us a little bit about your $10 a month sponsor pack, donation pack, whatever you want to call it?
Yeah, it's just a way for people to be involved. It's kind of perpetual donors that we're really looking for, because that's what keeps the ship rolling here and is able to do what we do. And by not, this is free of charge. You're talking, it costs us between $3,000 to $1,000 per warrior to put them through this camp. So, people always ask, well, how can I get involved? And, this is a good, affordable way. You're talking a couple cups of coffee, $10 a month is what we're looking for. And, we dangle the carrot there a little bit. If you do pledge $120 right up front, you're eligible for a Battle Dawgs.
And it is snowing up there, guys. So if he comes in and out, get over it. You're fading. There you go.
Oh, sorry.
What you're trying to say is that if they front that $120 up front, they get a commemorative T-shirt. Is that correct? That's correct.
But yeah, for a couple cups of coffee, instead of going to Starbucks a couple of times, we're just looking to, donate that $10 a month, and that goes a long way.
I don't think you'll find anybody in this room that actually will go near Starbucks when they all drink that. They literally, everybody in this room drinks, except for me, I don't drink coffee, drinks the exact same coffee.
DV Radio Battleground.
Yep.
Check that stuff out.
So we'll have to bring you some up. That's for damn sure, because it's some of the best and freshest coffee. They're out of a Georgia area, but by the time we even ordered up here in Alaska, it gets up here fresher than anything you're going to buy in the stores. And of course, it's another veteran-owned company, so why not?
Awesome. Right? Absolutely.
So on a serious note, poor old Rick just got contacted by random people and was like, hey, come on our show and talk about this. So he has been a good sport, because I don't know if I contacted me if I would respond to me. I'm just saying. But anyway, so
and Uncle Fester contacted him.
Yeah, but was it Uncle Fester or the real Fester?
No. My Uncle Fester profile is actually the one that actually contacted him.
Bless his heart, he did take a leap of faith in.
Yes, indeed.
But, Rick, now you were talking about all the programs that you did, so I just kind of want to break down. So what, we'll start, I guess, with a hunting trip or fishing trip. What does that kind of, I'm not asking you to take a step by step, but what do you guys end up doing? Is there camping involved? Do you fly up there and then come back at night? Tell us a little bit about each type of program, in case there are vets going, you know what, I'm not really into hunting, but I could really use some brother time. So if you'll break that down for us, we'd appreciate it.
Yeah, so the summer camp, and that's pretty much the same throughout the summer. That'll be a 7-day camp. There is no tent camping involved. So you're going to have your own cabin, your own room, your own space while you're here at Camp Battle Dawgs. So we'll spend a few days here right off the get, and then after that, we'll do a flight seeing tour. We'll fly around the Denali, we'll land up on a glacier, and then we will actually fly out to a remote lodge where we get picked up. We'll actually take off on water and land on water, and then we get picked up by boat, and then we will go to their lodge, and we sleep in a bed every night, full meals, hot meals 3 times a day, and then during the day we're out on the rivers fishing till we can't hold the poles anymore. It's just we fish hard, fish all day, relax, and then go back, throw horseshoes, eat dinner, hang out, and then just get up and do it again. So there is no that tent camping type thing. It's very comfortable because we're working with guys that are most of them broken their backs, bad knees, things like that. So we want them to be comfortable while they're here. So the summer camp is a lot of, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and to clarify for the lower 48 folks, Denali is Mount McKinley, the tallest mountain in North America. In case you've heard it called something else, but we refer to Denali up here in Alaska. So yeah, Denali, Mount McKinley, same one and the same.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that's it. I used to be a fly fishing instructor up here, so I'm what you call a trout bum. I love the fly fish, so and we'll do both types. We'll spin fish with regular traditional fishing tackle. I do show the guys the fly fishing aspect of it because I think fly fishing is very therapeutic in itself. I know that is for me. So we'll show them how to fly fish, how to cast, and guys really do enjoy that fly fishing aspect of it. So we'll do fly fishing. We have 4-wheelers here that the guys are able to go out on the property and get muddy and tear it up around the property. So those are really what you could expect there in our summer camps. Depending on the group, we'll shoot clay birds, things like that. Some guys don't care to shoot, but if they want to shoot, we have that too, with shotguns and things like that. We'll shoot clay birds, and but we also leave a lot of downtime, and I think that's what the guys really part of our camps, just to bring that. Am I fading out?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay. So what I was saying is what the guys really appreciate about our camps is they're not so fast paced that we don't give them any time to relax. We leave plenty of downtime and what we call campfire therapy. And that's just sitting around the campfire and busting each other's chops, because that's what they miss the most. And I think that's, for the outsiders, civilians, they don't get today's vets' sense of humor. They think they're from another planet when they hear these guys and gals talk, but that's a coping mechanism, and that's the way they deal and get on. And so I think a lot of that, they miss that part of it. And it's awesome. I mean, guys that have never met each other, within 2 minutes, they're busting each other's chops and getting on just like they were right back in their units again. So that's pretty neat to see.
Before we go on to another thing that you do, I'm just going to go ahead and ask the questions that I know that if I were still doing the peer support thing, that they would be asking about it. Okay, so you did say guys and gals. Do you have it where you can deal with both genders coming?
Yes.
I'm not going to say 47 different genders. We're going to just stick with the basic 2, folks.
Please don't.
Exactly. I ain't going there.
Yes, we're set up to do that. We've had females come through the camp. I don't want to, I've asked females saying, hey, would you want an all-female camp? And pretty much every female we've asked that question, they're like, hell no, please do not put me in an all-female camp. Put us in
I would have to agree. And
my wife was a veteran too, so I could see her saying the same damn thing.
Yeah.
It would, I hate to say it, girls, but it would turn into like a drama series. So, yeah, the guys balance it out. My other question would be, is it an alcohol and, well, obviously it should be drug-free, but alcohol and drug-free programs where if they are struggling with that, they're not going to be sitting at the campfire while everybody else is kicking back?
That question is asked during the application process. Now, it's not something we advertise. We don't allow hard alcohol, obviously no drugs. But if a guy wants to have a beer after fishing all day around the fire, absolutely. We're not going to, but again, I'm not going to put, if someone says, hey, I used to be a raging alcoholic, now that person will be selected for a different camp. Each participant is selected because I want like-minded warriors together during that camp. Now, if I get a guy that says, look, I have a serious issue with alcohol, obviously I'm not going to put him with 3 or 4 other people that want to party and rage. And we don't do that anyways, but we're going to select that camp for that particular person.
That sounds awesome. It sounds like you put a lot of thought. And, like you said, there are a lot of programs out there, and a lot of them seem to come, and this is no insult to anybody who does something out there. A lot of them seem to come a dime a dozen. And But do they sit and think about the needs? And it's great to want to go, I'm going to help vets, but the thing is, you've got to remember each person is an individual, and even though they have similarities, it's going to be, okay, Frosty, I see your hand raised. You can talk in a second. But each person's going to need a program that suits them. You know what I'm saying? So I do appreciate the fact that you put so much thought into this. And, I don't want to go through the application process because obviously I'm not going to come up to Alaska right this second and go through a program to so we can speak on it. But I do like the fact that you do ask that question, hey, is it going to bother you? Are you able to do this? We can tailor it to do that. So I do like that. Now, Frosty, you've raised your hand like 27 times. Yes.
I had to get a word in edgewise here. You mentioned that you have an application process. How can somebody get a hold of that process, or what do they need to do if they want to try and get into one of your camps?
Sure. So if you go online to battledawgs.org, and of course, dogs is DAWGS, there's an application. You click on that link and you fill out that application. I'll receive that. I'll review that. We do require that you submit your DD-214. Because believe it or not, I've had a couple people
I mean, a free trip to Alaska, I can see people misusing that.
Yeah, but I got a lot of good people that we research and things like that. So you're not going to get that bias because there are professional camp goers out there that we definitely frown upon that, because you're taking up a slot for someone that's truly deserving and really needs to be up here. So you fill out that application. And again, not everyone's selected. The toughest thing for me is to call that particular warrior and say, you qualify, but unfortunately, we just don't have the funds to get you through. Just hang on, and maybe next year we'll be able to get you up here. So we review the applications. We'll check over your DD-214, and again, it's about the right fit and about having that right person up here, because so far we've been pretty fortunate, pretty lucky with our selections, and because you want the guys to get along. You're bringing, on the most part, a lot of type A personalities all together, and sometimes that could be interesting. But like I said, we haven't had any issues so far, and it's been very good. We've been pretty fortunate on the people we've had up here.
And I just thought of another question. See, you've got, even though we're DV Radio, each of us have our own little thing that we do off to the side. And the one recording for us is the owner of PTS Dog. Like I said,
Yep.
He's from Alaska. Do you allow service dogs?
Absolutely.
Okay. I wanted to get that question out there, because here's my offer that I'm going to put out to you on the Nevermore and PTS Dogs behalf. If you ever get a warrior that beyond a shadow of a doubt needs to be up there now, but you don't have the funds, we're not rich by any means, but we do a lot of fundraisers. All you have to do is reach out to either myself or him. We'll get the one-legged wonder there to tell you who we really are in chat, and see if we can't try to raise that funds to get somebody, if they're in, say, in like Florida up to Alaska or something like that. I hate that you have to pick and choose based off of what you can afford. And like I said, we're by no means rich, but we do a lot of fundraisers. And I know Oink and Frosty would jump in on the fundraiser bandwagon and help share and advertise it without letting them speak, because I don't see anybody raise their hand.
That's awesome. I appreciate it.
Frosty, Oinky.
No, by all means. I mean, that's one of the reasons why we wanted to reach out is obviously this is something that drew our attentions, obviously the dogs, but on top of that, it's something that, is unique to Alaska, obviously being here. I think one of the things you said on there on your website is that, the natural beauty is in of itself a calming feature, and that's one of the things I fell in love with when I first came up here as a young airman, back in the early 90s, was just the beauty of Alaska. There's just that peace and that calm that you could take in the scenery and just, let your hair down just for that few seconds and watch that bald eagle fly over. And it kind of reminds you of why you do some of the things you do. And, like I said, now you're teaming that up with like-minded people that have gone through some of those same things that you've been through or seen. And, you have that bonding experience. This obviously, it has the potential to change, that warrior's life.
100%.
So anytime we have anybody that's involved with dogs, we end up taking a whole show, because we're dog people. We absolutely can't help it. So that'll be the next thing that we talk about is, say they want to be involved with the dog part of it. What is that like when they sign up?
So the winter camps. So for instance, I have a camp kicking off the first week of March, and normally I'm in the Iditarod race. I'm not racing this year. Actually, I haven't raced the last 2 years. Last year I had shoulder surgery, so that put me out of the race. I couldn't. And then this year, I was signed up to race, and then I decided I did pull out. And honestly, the reason was because I thought the organization was going to take a hit by me. Because training and racing consumes your life. That's all you think about morning, noon, and night. So it's kind of tough to do both at the same time, the benefit of the organization. But every winter, we would do what we call an Iditarod camp, where we would do a camp and the guys would actually they would help me prepare for the race that week of. kind of like my pit crew before the race kicks off. And the cool thing about that camp is we would actually fly the warriors that were selected for that camp out to a checkpoint out on the Iditarod Trail. So they actually got to watch me come into a checkpoint and just see what we do during the race. So that's pretty awesome. But this year we're actually doing a full-on mushing camp. And that week we're going to be doing two different things. We'll be doing dog mushing, and then we'll break it up. We'll probably do 1 or 2 days of ice fishing as well. But the main focus, the main mission of that camp during the winter with the dogs is they're going to learn how to literally run their own dog team. They're going to learn how to harness the dogs. They're going to be scooping crap up off the ground, feeding the dogs, everything that it takes to care for these animals. And they have their choice. They can either sign up for the summer camp or the winter camp. And the funny thing is, before I announced we were going to be doing winter camps, we emailed all the applicants, and there's probably 150 applicants that we had. We re-engaged them and said, hey, you have a choice. And I would say 60% of the applicants wanted to come up and do a winter camp, which was, I kind of thought that would be it, but it was nice to see and reassuring that, hey, a lot of these guys want to do something different and come up here in the dead of winter and run dogs. So this is the first year that we're offering that dog mushing boot camp, if you will. So we're just going to do 2 camps this winter, and then next year it'll probably be about 40 to 50% of what we do is the actual dog mushing camps with them.
Go ahead, Frosty.
I know that winters up here take a little bit more specialized clothing and gear. Do you provide that for some of your participants, or do you?
Everything will be provided. Yep, all the winter gear, boots, gloves, hats, all that will be provided.
Very good. That's
awesome, because somebody out of Florida is not going to have what it takes to stay. I mean, yeah, if they're lucky enough to where they can go out and buy it, that's great. But I mean, that's a lot of gear. I mean, like I said, I live with an Alaskan Malamute, and if it wasn't for him some days down here when it gets cold, I'd freeze to death, because it's the South, so it only gets cold like 3 days a year. So I can't get acclimated to it. But I couldn't imagine being out there with 50 and 60 dogs, trying to take care of them and freezing my tail off.
You get used to it.
We keep trying to tell
the coldest I've ever been during the race was 60 below zero. I'm not gonna lie, that sucked.
Yeah, that makes
people think a dog sledding team is just simply, it sounds easy, and I'm telling you what, I don't know what kind of dogs you have, but this dog is extremely smart, and he's a prankster. I couldn't imagine, luckily he's a service dog, so he's taught not to pull, but I couldn't imagine if he got on one of his pranks trying to do a sled dog run. Oh my Lord.
Now the dogs that we race Iditarod with, our sled dogs, they're all Alaskan Huskies. The greater majority of what we run up here, if you're racing, they're Alaskan Huskies, and they're a mixed breed. They're not a purebred. I like to call them a purebred mutt, but so they're a mix of every northern bred type of dog rolled into one. As far as the animal world, there is no other animal that walks this planet that covers more ground faster than an Alaskan Husky. They truly are amazing, amazing animals. I mean, you're talking about an animal that can run at 10 miles an hour for 10 hours straight.
Oh, and they're really, really, really intelligent. They're very high energy, and just because we run the service dog page, we'll get somebody, and I know that there's a difference. He's explained to me that up there, Husky is basically a generic term for all of it, like you said, blended into one, but they'll get like what they call a purebred Husky, and they'll be like, we can't get him to listen, and so we preach, know your breed, make sure that you understand a northern breed's stubbornness, its drive, its energy, and all of that good stuff. So if people sign up for this camp, I give them props, because it's not easy to deal with 50 and 60 strong-willed, minds that can outrun your ass any time of the day.
Yeah, exactly.
That's probably a good fit for some of the vets that you get up there to participate, kind of the type A's all buttoned together, head with the vets and the dogs.
Yeah, absolutely. And these dogs, I mean, they're just like any other working dog. They love to please, and these guys are, our dogs are well behaved, and it's not mass hysteria when they're trying to hook up. Yeah, the energy is there, and you best be hanging on once you pull the hook, because the power is absolutely amazing what these dogs are capable of doing. But for the most part, these dogs they love the attention. They're just like any other working dog. They want to please. You have to establish, they're gonna, especially with new people, they like to try to get away because they know, dad's not looking, and they'll try to take advantage. But it's all about, we'll teach them those techniques on, making sure that you're always the alpha, you're always in charge.
Oh, I always tell people, because they'll see kennels and stuff set up in Alaska, and they'll talk about them living outdoors and it being cold and this and this. And I was like, you do realize that a lot of people rely on their sled dog teams, and they're probably taken better care of than the human beings that are there. So I've seen a couple of, kennels that'll be posted, and people start whining about them being out in the cold or on chains. And they don't understand that's some people's livelihood or some people's only means of transportation. Those dogs get treated a lot better than most humans.
Yeah, I know my dogs eat better than I do. That's for sure.
Exactly. We've got about 15 minutes left. Fester, do you have anything that we haven't covered that you would like to ask?
No, actually, I don't. Y'all have pretty much covered everything.
Frosty?
Here's one more one. Where'd you guys find your the slogan that you have all over your page? The saving one warrior does not change the world, but for that one warrior, the world is forever changed. I think that saying really kind of caught with us right off the bat when we looked at your page and everything.
Yeah, and it did. So one of my board members, Dr. Deb, she lives in Virginia, and she works with veterans on the East Coast. And 2 summers ago, I was over there doing some speaking engagements, and I walked into her office, and she had that quote, and that's her quote. She had it to a picture, and I walked in, and it stopped me dead in my tracks. And I said, Deb, holy crap. She's like, what? I'm like, that's your quote? She's like, yeah. I said, we need that. She's like, all right, go ahead and take it. So she literally mailed me up a 5x5 poster of that picture with that quote. And we've been using it ever since, because that literally sums it up right there.
Yeah, you're like, that's mine now.
pretty much. And but yeah, that was her quote. That's what she came up with, and we've been using it ever since, because it's such a powerful quote.
Oink, do you got any thing that we haven't covered, or that you?
Well, besides the almighty cash donations that folks can do, there's also some other things. If you're especially located up here in Alaska, where it's not going to cost an arm and a leg to ship a lot of this stuff, but there's also some non-cash donations that folks could also donate to you folks. Is that correct?
Yeah, I've had last year I had a guy donate a side-by-side to us, a beautiful, it was a couple years old, but I mean, perfect condition. And he's like, I just bought one and I don't need it. Would you be interested in a side-by-side? And it's like, yeah, absolutely. So, I had a guy this past benefit come up to me, and he donated a vehicle to us. And that's going to be kind of the camp vehicle where if, guys got to run down to the store or something like that. So he donated a vehicle. People have donated gear to us, fishing poles, anything like that. Absolutely. We've had people donate linens for the cabins, dishes, pots, pans, anything like that. Because, any dollar we could save, that's going towards bringing a warrior through our camp. So absolutely, we'll accept any type of stuff like that.
Most definitely.
Anybody listening, instead of saying, ask this gentleman to make a wish list, it sounds like that this is going all year long. Things change, pots get broken, pans get broken. So if you do have stuff that you think that would benefit, and yes, it's a little bit more costly to mail something to Alaska, but it trust me, this organization sounds like they're totally worth it. We support it 100%. Just message them. I mean, I know they have a Facebook page. I don't know if the message button's turned on their Facebook page, but just message them, email them something, and I'm sure Rick will be glad to tell you if it's something that they can use before everybody gets crazy and just like start sending a bunch of clothes and stuff, because people love to send clothes.
Yeah, no, clothes, yeah, you're better off taking that to, your local domiciliary, things like that, because that's where it could be used. But we're, hard goods, things like that. Like I just literally got a message yesterday, and someone just bought us a new upright freezer to store our food in for our camps. So things like that just go a long, long ways.
And I'll go ahead and put this out there, and then I didn't discuss it previous with the boys, but if anybody does decide to sign up for the $10 a month or make a donation out because you're hearing the show, send a message to Frag Out Drag Out, or Oink will tell you the email address that you can use here in 2 seconds, and we will send you a little something. We don't know what yet, but we'll figure it out. I mean, if all else fails, we can get Uncle Fester to make you a calendar. Oink and Frosty are both posed nude in it, just saying it's a good boudoir. No, I'm kidding.
No, you don't want those posters.
If you guys do something for this organization, we will most definitely send you some form of thanks. It could be as silly as I'll order you some K-Bar soap or coffee, something, but let us know that you have, and not everybody does donations to get something or get recognition, but if you do, let us know. Oink, what is an email address they can use to contact us?
By all means, if you guys do become a $10 dog pack donator or any donation you guys did to Battle Dawgs, go ahead and send me an email. Shoot it to oink@dvradio.net. Again, that's oink@dvradio.net. And let me know that, hey, you became a dog pack member, or, you donated that second freezer to Battle Dawgs. And like I said, we'll see what we can do to help you guys out, because you're helping out a great organization that's obviously helping out our veterans. So we're going to make it worth your while if we can.
All right, before we wrap up, Rick, where are all the places on social media or on the interwebs that people who are interested in your camp or donations, or they just want to check it out because we've been talking about it, where can they go?
Yeah, the website, battledawgs.org. Obviously, we got a really heavy presence on Facebook. So Battle Dawgs on Facebook and also Instagram.
And dogs is spelled different, folks. It is spelled different. Let me make sure before I lie. It is DAWGS. So make sure if you're looking for Battle Dawgs, you spell it as in dog.
Exactly.
Oink, any last words?
No, sir. Like I said, I'm excited to hopefully get up there and see what the camp's all about, and talk to you a little bit more, maybe get some photos, like I said, and help you guys as much as we can and get the word out.
No, I appreciate it, guys. I really do.
Thanks for coming on and telling us about your organization, and like Oink, I'm excited to have one of these days get up there and meet you and see everything. We really think you're doing a great job, and you're filling a niche in the community that it's definitely needed.
Uncle Fester?
Rick, I want to say thank you for taking a chance on someone named Uncle Fester contacting you.
I'm not gonna lie, I was a little skeptical on that. I think I actually ignored you a couple times. It's like, who the heck is that? This sounds totally fun.
There's very few places that will, and normally we let guests come to us, but every once in a while something will just strike you and you're like, man, I really want to help these individuals out. Let's get them out there, but I understand most places charge. We've contacted a few and they're like, what's it going to cost? And I'm like, nothing, but we do appreciate you taking a chance on us. Most definitely would love to. Obviously I'm never going to get to Alaska because it's a really long, far away and I'm scared to fly, but anywho, yeah, Zumi's scared to fly. We appreciate everything that you've done, and on behalf of all of the Frag Out team, we truly, truly, truly are grateful that you came on, and after this ends, we'll let you know when this airs. If you want to be in the chat room, Uncle Fester gives tutorials. But anyway, guys, Rick, you have anything that you want to end with?
No, just again, I appreciate you guys reaching out, taking the time. I never pass up an opportunity to talk about the organization. Like I said, I do a lot of public speaking, a lot of different types of interviews. So any chance I can get out there and spread the word about our organization, talk about our warriors and what we're doing, I don't pass that up. And And so, thanks for reaching out and giving me a platform to talk about what we do. And because ultimately we're here to change and save lives. And that's why we do what we do.
I think this is the tamest frag out, drag out we've ever done. I really don't even think we dropped any cursies this time. I mean, I'm kind of in shock, but I did want to be a little bit professional to a complete stranger that's not used to us. Next time you're in trouble. But anyway, we will do a follow-up show. We'll give it a couple months because I'm pretty sure that he's going to be hitting some busy times, and obviously you can't stop what he's doing with his vets. And, just come on for an interview in the middle of running one of his camps. But there will be an update, guys, in a couple months. Please, please, please donate. And with that, we want to say thank you, goodbye. You've listened to Frag Out, Drag Out on WDV Radio, only on DVR. WDVR. Whatever. It ended. Thank you.